Alright. Let's over here. Get ourselves settled in. Now let me just open up stream on the tablet here. So a bit of apologies for last stream because the power went completely out of my control. So we got planned this evening. We are gonna try and finish off. I know we finished this one. We finished this a few streams back. But I wanted to come back to him and do a little bit of some extra work. Because we still need to paint up the soil here and add a little bit of effects. And we gotta also get these guys with some other decoration. I'm thinking of some sand, which I'm gonna pull out now. This sand right here. Something different for once. And then let's see. We also have some transfers. Our favorite activity, putting on transfers. My favorite, I mean, I hate it. Absolutely hate putting these things on. They're a nightmare to put on, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do. Preparing our water, glue, and somewhat hazardous chemicals. Or it's not really. I'm kidding. Alright. So hold on. Missing a brush. Wasn't I not holding it? Hold on, where do I? See. Oh, I did not. Where did one of my brushes go? It disappeared somewhere. Nah, I'll find it. I always find whatever I'm looking for when I'm not trying to look for it. That's the magic of finding things. The moment you stop looking for it, you find it. Kinda wild. Not gonna lie. Just checking my surroundings just in case it's just like laying out there in plain sight. Oop. Oh no. I dropped something important. Well, I can't find it. Because I hate when I drop things on the floor. It's like you never know where it bounces, and it goes to somewhere where it's shaded and you can't see it. It becomes such a pain to look for it. You're not sure if you're looking straight at it or not. Because sometimes it just melds with the floor for some reason. Whew. Still don't have internet? Aw, that sucks, bro. So this guy's done. We will work on getting some details on. Like, we need to rough up the transfers here before we put some varnish on. Right? We deal with these transfers next. Well, I hope their internet situation improves, bro. Somehow. We may need to complain to the ISP, but if they're not doing anything about it because they're having their own issues back there, there's nothing we can really do now, is there? You got your Tamiya, I got my I got my painting. I was talking with your mom earlier today, which is funny. Yeah, I heard you actually got to the finals. Because your brother and your mom was there at the office earlier today. Just talking with them. Your mom said she kept on nagging you. We should do it with this. We should do it with this one. Or maybe, you know what's better? Wait. I have the brightest idea. I need to here. This thing has no blade, has no nothing, so I can just gently nudge this Oh, before that. Let's put on the setter. Bit too much, but it's fine. We can do. We can spread it around. We're not assembling per se, we are putting on transfers. Let me adjust the camera here so we can pull it a little closer. And we can clear up all these other unnecessary items we don't need. We just need this. The rest we can just stack it up. Until we're gonna do some detailing afterwards. So we already got Decimus all painted up. We just need to paint up the ground, put a little bit of decoration, and then rough up his like little symbols and his logos. This one, put it there. Oh, this is the wrong one. Oh no. Wait, hold on. Hold up. Let's make it quick. before this thing gets damaged. Ah, it's too late. Ah, alright, that's fine. That's my fault because I was not paying attention to what I was putting the thing on. That's okay. We've got spares. I have like tons of these, so just cut open another one. Yeah, it's really good. Like when you may have two different hobbies, but it takes the same amount of energy and vibe, right? So you don't feel a disconnect while you're doing one hobby. For some reason, okay. For a moment, I thought my headphones had turned off, but apparently not. There we go. That's where it's supposed to go. Next one. This one requires this one. So there's two types of Phobos squad here. We have infiltrators, those with the helmets, and incursors, which are the ones without helmets. The infiltrators apparently are battle line units, while the incursors are close support units. So between the two, the infiltrators are sort of like a backline unit. Not really backline, but they're frontline, but they're not in direct confrontation. Like, they handle situations more indirectly than going up front. On the other hand, incursors are much more upfront and personal, much like assault marines as well as reavers. So some fun facts there about Space Marine formations. Because they did change a lot of the... I think they changed a lot of what the symbols mean for the Space Marine, like different like unit compositions, from close support to the heavy support to well, the veteran's still the same. It's just that the other unit's significance in the battle line is much more different now compared to when it was before. The whole Primaris transformation and stuff. So I think their lineup, in some cases, some parts still remain the same. Some other parts don't. They changed stuff because of the Primaris formations. Like, because there's so many new units they introduced with the new armor that the Primaris get. So the Primaris have much more versatile roles compared to the previous version. So you have like, there's the fact that Mark 10 armor actually is so versatile because you can have it for different ways. You can have it as Phobos armor for stealth and light reconnaissance, as well as subterfuge. While you can have, if you really need like the heavy duty, you can get Gravis armor. So your heavy duty units can take out a lot of punishment. Then you have your jump packs. Because if I recall, the jump pack is a whole entire different suit compared to... That's another thing I've noticed, like, compared to like the previous versions of the armor, like, although it's very versatile, the Mark 10, like the previous versions of the armor were, I wouldn't say that versatile, I guess, because it's like jump packs back then were just like an accessory compared to like the current Primaris lineup. Because the current Primaris lineup, you have to like sort of switch suits or switch some parts of the suits in order to do jump packs, or switch or add more armor for reconnaissance. And also back then there was no recon armor. There wasn't any light version. There was no full boost armor, so you'd still have to use the same tactical suit that you do for scouting and stuff, but except for like the actual scouts. So just a bit of lore tidbit. Space Marine scouts back in older editions, they weren't given a lot of armor. They had a specific scout armor, and they were the designated, like, Space Marine recruits were the designated scouts. So if they can survive long enough as scouts, they can be suited up into proper Space Marine armor. Kind of nuts, but you're scouts, so you're not technically going in there and fighting the enemy up front or getting into big sieges and stuff unless you have a certain role like sniper or something like that. So your survivability as a scout is quite high compared to actually being a full-on battle line Space Marine. So I don't know. Well, I don't think they give Scout Marines this full boost armor. I don't think so, because although the full boost armor is much lighter than your regular Tacticus armor, the thing is, it's really meant for full-fledged Space Marines. It's still meant for full-fledged Space Marines. So different formations on the battle line, different formations for close range, and different formations for close supports. No, I'm not gonna say it. If I'm gonna say it, I might jinx myself. I'll say it after I'm done putting everything on. Because the moment I say it, I'm jinxing myself. I'm setting myself up for failure. So, I ain't gonna say it till I'm done. Like, entertaining the mere thought is already giving myself bad luck. I feel like. Just gotta wait a bit. Just checking on the other ones because I want to be sure that they're all in position, because sometimes when you're not paying attention, it just actually slips off from its original position that you placed it in, and you don't want that to happen. All right, 2 more to go. Just waiting for the transfer to get loose off the paper. Just poking and prodding it, just making sure that it's slowly coming off before we apply it onto the model. That's done. One last one to go. Whoops. Right, done. That's the transfers on each of them. So we're going to wait for those to dry. In the meantime, while that's drying up, we are going to... I'm gonna think right now because I'm gonna put on the sand right now. Here it is. So I was thinking maybe we just cover up this whole rock here. Maybe. Now where is this bit? We're gonna need this. Just notice the camera is not liking the angle, so I'm just adjusting that right now. Got a better idea. Let me just set this on the side here. Guess this idea didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out. I think this was better. I'm making a great big mess here. I should have just stuck with this idea, just like dipping the model in instead of like having to shake up the base a bit and all that. There's too much effort. And I couldn't even get any coverage at all, which is the worst part. So, fun fact. For those of you who are familiar with the location, I believe this sand isn't just any ordinary sand. It comes from a sort of natural occurring island made entirely out of corals. So the sand isn't actually sand. It's like eroded like corals that over time just got pounded into these small little bits because of the water, the waves, because of where the currents like push the wave towards a certain location. It starts pushing all whatever debris onto the banks until such time that it slowly became an island. Just an island of all dead corals, basically. Because at first I thought it was just like sand, normal sand and everything. But the thing is like, it doesn't have the same consistency. Because it's much more... the grains are much larger than the normal grains of sand. And you would see a lot of shells as well as corals in the area. So I began to think, like, normally like sand deposits and all that, it's because in certain areas erosion kind of creates these things, right? So gravel is basically just crushed up rocks because of constant erosion to the point that it removes bits of rock, and then as it goes down flowing water, it smoothens I can't say the word. Why can't I say it? Smoothens it out until it's like this grainy sand. It's what the flowing water does. And in a lot of beaches and all that, it's the waves that kind of erode the area. So that's why you get that normal beach sand. It's very grainy. And you have like desert sand, which is like just straight up the tiniest grains you can find. Just to show you. This is desert sand from Dubai. And this is coral sand from an island that's near my area, or somewhat near. Right. The grains are much larger of this coral sand compared to this very fine, super fine. Like a single grain is like really, really small. So it's very interesting how that goes. You know what I was thinking, like, what if I took the coral sand, I took the desert sand, and I just mix it all together in the bases here. Define everything. It's like, are we talking about the modeling? The modeling is going well. Like, the miniature is going well, rather. We are now getting all the bases decorated with this coral sand. otherwise we are doing well. All good, man, all good. One last one. Just gonna try and all the loose sand here. So I'm thinking right now, like, the thing about this coral sand is that the grains are so large that I'm seeing like gaps where in the base. So what I'm afraid of is when the glue dries, it will leave these gaps, and the glue when it dries is transparent, so that means you can see the black of the base, which will kind of mess up how the coral sand is trying to cover the whole base, right? So I may have to do a second coating, which may make the decoration way too thick, to be honest, with the large granules of this sand. So maybe I can use the desert sand in that regard. Like normally some people most people actually, they actually purchase like the base decoration materials, right? Me, not so much of a big spender on that kind of material, so improvise. What do we have? We got lots of sand, we got lots of dirt, so might as well use all that instead of having to pay much money for like soil decoration or whatever. I do not know what it's called. Although I do have to buy more grass, that's for sure. Alright, so these will dry off for the meantime. Let's go back to Decimus over here and get his base painted. Oh, I almost forgot something very important. That is the wax paper. Okay. So now that's all soaked and ready to go. Let's try this again. No, that can't be right. I'm looking at the stream right now and there's like 13 people watching right now. That is crazy. That's the first I've seen like that many people all at once watching. So first of all, welcome to all of you. And second, I hope you're all enjoying your day. Just here to chill out and stuff. See what's up, what I'm doing, what's happening in the paintings. You know. Get my paint groove on. So, there we go. That's gonna dry. While that is drying, really quick, let's grab this. Now this pauldron right here, let me zoom in. This pauldron right here is gonna be our test subject for painting the Blood Raven logo. So I'm just prepping it up now. So once this is ready to go, I will use that to practice painting the Blood Raven logo. Like, learn to figure out what I can do. One person said I could sketch the symbol on, but I have to figure out what I need to use to do that. The other option is to just directly paint it myself. The issue is when I do it, it's going to dry up and then I'm gonna have to take some extra effort to scrape off the paint and then repaint everything all over again. So I'm thinking right now, and I think the sketch option seems much more viable. I just need to, it's either I can use some pencil graphite. So I got this lead from mechanical pencil, and I can probably use this to sketch the symbol on, maybe. I mean, I should have the mechanical pencil, but I misplaced it, or someone forgot to return it, borrowed it from me and forgot to return it. So one or the other, I'm gonna have to find mechanical pencil, or I can just use the graphite directly. But I'm gonna have to be careful with this. Let me just do this. Seems viable. But can't erase it afterwards. It's a good thing I did little chicken scratches so it doesn't. It's not that visible. Nobody's gonna notice it that much, so that'll be fine. So that is an idea, which I will try. This is drying up pretty quick. So, and so is this. So this is done. Let's go grab our paint. is not what I wanted. It's too much. Oh, actually, wait. Got an idea. Let's start with some leather brown, because I need a darker brown for this first. And we quickly switch. Well, this is still dry. Or, well, this is still wet, rather. Just add that brown. Too much. That's fine. Splatter some mud all over his boots. Then we try and sort of thin it out just a bit. Okay. And we bring out some green. Actually, this is too bright for green. Got this. This dark green will do first. Then we get to this other one. Man, this thing refuses to seal. I think it's because of all the clumped up paint here. Should be fine. And I feel like I'm gonna lose this particular green soon if I can't seal this properly. Good idea. Still doesn't want to seal up. One sec. I want it sealed. I think I've got it. All right. Alright, next we gotta do some battle damage. Yeah, let's do battle damage first. Thinking. Trying to think. Think. What color do I need? How do I... Okay, so to be on theme, I'm gonna need... So I recently got these sponges. I'm actually interested to see just how they perform. But we're not gonna use the whole sponge because it's way too big. So we'll find the cover real quick. Did it fly off to? There it is. I found it. So I'm just gonna take a wee bit of this sponge. Did it even cut it at all? That's funny. Come on off. I need you. Right off. There we go. So let's do a little bit of a test. Actually, I need more paint for this. Such going in front of paste. It's dried. So when people make bases using cover and such, are they gluing figures feet on top of the paste that's dried? Gluing. Well, for one thing, I have not actually tried putting them on a cardboard. But let's see. Are they... Man, I wish this icon of the heart was not in the way. I would have read the whole message. Hold on, let me try something. Wait. There we go. So when people make bases using cardboard and such, are they just gluing the figure's feet on top of the paste that's dried? Okay, wait. Let me think. Don't worry, I'm gonna answer your question because I'm also thinking of how they also do it. Because some people, or at least as far as I've seen, they usually just directly glue the figure, right? As far as I know. Because they use either cardboard or corkboard. And normally how I paste the figure on the base. So how I normally do it is I just use straight up cement. Like, I use the extra thin cement to put it on the base. But if you're already putting cardboard on it, I don't think, unless you have proper, let's say you have proper storage. So if you have a storage where the figures are standing, you can probably use weaker glue. So oh yeah, corkboard. Yeah. So you could use weaker glue. You could just use craft glue, maybe. But if you really want it to stick hard there, I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't fully recommend, you know, your run-of-the-mill like super glue, right? I use something like this, which is welding glue. Much stronger. It's quite tough, and it's quick drying, but do be careful when using this. If you make a mistake with this, it's gonna be stuck there like that forever. So I would not recommend it. I mean, I recommend it for the strength, but I would not recommend it for like if you're kind of very messy with your hands and stuff. I wouldn't recommend it. It's quite dangerous. Like, I usually use the welding glue when I get frustrated with certain, like, certain models that they just, for whatever reason, just refuse to stick, right? So I just immediately grab the welding glue and just jam it in there. And then it finally sticks, and I'm just like, ah, finally. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Alright, back to what we were doing. So we're gonna try and put some battle damage on Decimus over here. So let me switch the camera view really quick. We want to get that over in there, this wide view. So we have our Phobos kill team on here on the left side. Wait, I'm waiting for the glue to dry. It's gonna take some time because I need to find out if you can still see the base underneath all the grains of sand. Meanwhile, let's move on to this one, and we're gonna experiment with the sponge and see what result we're gonna get. So actually, where is my sampler? I have a piece of terrain that I use for sampling right here. Whatever effects I use on my models, whatever paint I use, so I have an idea. So I'm trying to get rid of all the excess paint first, so we can have an idea what we're dealing with here. I'm starting to like the results, although I may have stripped too much of the paint off. Okay, so now if we go over here to our model and just do little dabs here and there, not too much, not too hard, just tiny little dabs. Get a bit of the scratching and the weathering in there. Too much. I want it on the edge of the joints, or at least where the armor likes to make contact. Right. You want your weathering located there. But also you want some little scratches here and there. Oh, I see a little bit of... actually, now that I think about it, don't know if I should actually correct the colors of the vents, because I checked on Space Marine 2 and apparently, and also on the cover of the box, and apparently this is actually colored the same color as the pack here. But I feel like I've already like committed to this all fully silvered up vent, so I don't want to change anything at the moment. And we also should actually apply the same effect, or scratching and all the battle damage effect on the Blood Ravens too. So let's actually do that again. Make sure that our sponge is a bit... Actually, maybe I should use the other side of the sponge, no? Let's try that. And get something different, maybe. Okay. So let's set this sponge away. And the next thing I want to do is we're gonna take should I do 00? No, maybe just 0 will be fine. So we're gonna add little... Actually, we're gonna zoom in for this one. I'm gonna need my holder for a bit something a bit more stable here. Let's turn off the flash. Release the light. This one. Be very gentle here. I'm gonna add some little scratches on the paint. Maybe it has to be thicker. It really does something instead of just making it faded or something. Then gonna take some ultramarine blue here. Do the same here. Now that's done. Let's just do a bit of a review here. I do want to do some edge highlighting a little bit here. Just a bit. Hopefully I won't overdo it. Tiny smidges. Nope. That's too much. That paint is too too moist. Really want really tiny highlights. I'm asking for huge ones. Don't want the surface to be too highlighted. every square inch of this gun needs to be just enough that it defines the edges. So you can, doesn't feel like the gun is blending as a one whole thing. Actually, I should do is mix a bit of brown and the white to assist me. With giving that wear and tear look on the leather. In them leathery bits. I'm gonna need the magnifying glass for this one. So right now I'm trying to mix up a different color. Because the next thing is the Blood Ravens. Their lever is much more different because I colored it a much more darker color. So I'm gonna have to apply just a smidge. Not too much. Wear and tear here and there. Few scratches. Yeah. Still trying to get that bit there. Seeing some parts that are not supposed to be of that particular color, so I'm just trying to correct that right now. Really quick. I don't know why the camera's not focusing. Could have been. Why'd you do this? Does the subject have to be that close to the camera? Really? It's focusing a while ago. I don't know why it's not focusing now. Let's try and get stuff out of the way. Why is it not choosing to focus? There. I think that's working. No. Alright. Like, highlighting is such delicate work. Because you can't just, like, go in there and just slap it on. It's gotta make sense, right? You gotta make sure that the whole model makes sense. Let me bring the mic a little bit closer here as I do detail work. I want this leather to look a bit more worn, right? There are other ways of doing it, I think. It's just that maybe I don't know what shade of brown that I need. Right now, this one is the one that is calling to me to put it on like so. Just gentle strokes here and there. Can't be too harsh, otherwise it's going to have unintended consequences. Okay, it's like our transfer is also looking pretty good, not gonna lie. Nice and solid. Okay. One other thing I should probably do is I need to hit up these little crevices over here with some black paint, but we gotta add a lot of water so it can seep in there and not interfere with the red so much. That's another thing we gotta do, is do some outlining here. But we won't do it now. We'll finish one step at a time. We gotta do all of the leather work first before we get to adding a bit more effects to the model. Because there is definitely a lot of leather work to do. One sec. I think I might be out of paint. There's some unwanted stuff here. One sec. No, I don't understand this camera at all. Like, it just doesn't want to focus on the subject. Hello, it's right here in your face. Come on, camera. If we actually move the light, it still won't focus. Weird. I don't understand this thing at all. Oh no, this thing's not colored. One sec. Oh, it's not even supposed to be fully. I screwed up. No, 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 no. I made a mistake. Welcome back, bro. Yeah, we're just trying to quickly correct this mistake here. Then one sec. Yes, we did. We did have a blackout yesterday. It's why my stream was cut short. Oh, really? There's gonna be another one? That's gonna suck. Is it scheduled? I don't remember it being scheduled. There's like no announcement or anything. At least as far as I've heard. And if it wasn't announced, like, duh, man, what's going on? Like, I don't know if it's because of the storms, but this shouldn't be an issue as far as like power is concerned. As far as I know. Really? Does that mean I have to cut my stream? Like, was there even an announcement today? Might's not go enough! Just kidding. So I guess in 15 minutes we're gonna find out if there's gonna be a blackout. It's like some kind of weird twisted game. It's like if this was on Twitch, I would definitely put up like a gambling poll. It's like, bet your channel points today. What is it? There gonna be a blackout today, or is it gonna? Are we gonna be able to stream all the way till the end tonight? Because I sure as gonna bet that there's gonna be a blackout, and I'm going to win every single time. Man, don't land a son of that. Oh, camera died for some reason. I need to go check what happened. Oh, nope, it's back. Never mind. Must have been just the internet getting hiccups. Alright. Okay. Nothing is wrong. Okay, maybe we should just go on full black. Because I am not getting nice results. Nope, that is not what I wanted. Oh boy. One down, 5 more to go. Thanks, bro. Trying to make sure all the crevices are definitely covered. So all these details are all the more expressed. That's another one down. One sec, being called out. Okay, where were we? Corrections here and there. Still on. Yep. I'm gonna have to put some extra work on this particular marine because there's so many parts here that requires a bit more attention. Because I've missed several areas on his armor that should be colored. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the stream, man. Just doing some detail work right now. One sec, stream's taking a big hit right now. Give it a moment. There we go. So what we're doing right now is we're trying to get... Because what I've done is I've mixed some paint, some black paint, and added a lot of water so it can seep into the little holes here, the little cracks, so we can express that detail a bit more. I think I may need to mix a bit more. Let me put away sand. Alright, I'll show you some of the ones that are already done here. Palmsman's done. So again, I am gonna be working on making the logo. But we've got this on already, so that's a big plus. Then this is our marksman. This is the sergeant, what we're doing right now. Right. Let me mix a bit more paint here. Yeah, I do like that as well, because like I was a bit on the fence whether I wanted all red and everything, and I was just like, it looks kind of bland with all if it's just all red. So decided to go for something a bit more, a bit of a mix, so that it breaks off the monotony. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Okay, something's wrong here. Trying to remove just enough paint. It doesn't. Okay, so somehow this one dropped down. That's kind of sucks. And it also didn't stick well. We'll do something about it. We'll just improvise something to fix that. I don't know if I can just rip that right off. Can I? Or at least just trying to fix it. Let's just try and rip it off. improvise something there. Okay. No, unfortunately, there is no Blood Raven sticker, so you have to freehand the. Otherwise, you find like I don't know if there's like a way to actually print your own transfers. Like as far as I know, there isn't any official transfer for Blood Ravens. So you have to hand paint them. Like I've seen people who've done the transfers. I mean, what most of them do is just hand paint it. But not to worry though, because I'm preparing a dummy pauldron to work with, so I'm gonna try to like I'm gonna prep this. I'm just gonna prep all of this, and then once it's prepped, I will use a pencil lead. So I've got this. I got this pencil lead to try and sketch the symbol on, and then I'm gonna repeat that several times. Try to just like maybe erase it, remove the paint, and then try again and do it again. Keep on doing it until I get good at making the logo, and then I'll put it on the model. So, but for the meantime, we are just gonna stick with what we got and just work on making sure that the model is ready, more or less. Because just so you know, like, despite Blood Ravens being somewhat canon to Warhammer 40k because of the video games, they are not officially canon in the model line. So there are no prints for their chapter. But like, maybe someday, you know, with the release of Dawn of War 4 and stuff, who knows? Maybe they will decide, oh, you know what? Well, Dawn of War 4 is so popular. Why don't we give the Blood Ravens their own transfer sheet, right? Or maybe I can look up online. Maybe some people have actually done transfer sheets for the Blood Ravens, right? But I wouldn't know what type of materials I would need to print that, or if I have to like order it from outside of the country. So, and if I do, it's gonna take a lot of time. So I think I may be better off trying to paint the logo on myself rather than having to wait forever or not even finding transfer sheet. And then the next time I decide to paint Blood Ravens, I would have transfer stickers and stuff for that by then. Or I would have mastered freehanding their logo, so it's a win-win either way. Like, I think there was a Dawn of War 3 Gabriel Angelos model. But the thing there is, there wasn't any transfer sheet that goes with that, because the Blood Raven logo was already like carved into his armor. And we're talking about the Gabriel Angelos in the weird Terminate armor that he can just leap like 20 feet in the air and smash his Warhammer down. Someone actually did a Primaris version of Gabriel Angelos minus the Terminator armor. So he was just in regular Tacticus armor, which was really nice. Oh no, I stayed away from 3 as well. Like, especially after the devs abandoned the game, I never bothered buying the game anymore. No point in buying a dead game. Like, they got the worst possible kind of developers for that game, I think. because they had no idea, they had no knowledge of the prior games. That's why it was so bad. Yes, Relic, but not the exact. It's kind of that ship of Theseus kind of deal where like the original people that were doing the game were not the ones that did it. Yeah, pretty much. Oops. I'm just doing one final check here because I'm just having a look at the models. Ooh, I missed a bit here. I do have high hopes for Dawn of War 4 though, because the devs who are doing Dawn of War 4 are the same ones that did Iron Harvest. And if you have not played that game yet, I would highly recommend you do. It's a nice cool twist from World War 1. Like what World War 1, what with mechs. feel like I should just remove this transfer. I can always just put another one. Do we have maybe this? No, no, no. I don't want to use the wrong chemical and end up like ruining it. Might just have to carve it off. Which is fine. I don't mind carving this off completely. It gives us the opportunity to fix it. Again, it's okay to make mistakes. Always happens. So just need to figure out how are you going to correct it. So in my case, I'm going to probably try and carefully strip off the paint of this. I get the chance. Just clean up. Or I can just paint over it. So either way, I can fix this and then try to put that sticker again. It's not easy getting the stickers on, but it's much more difficult to remove. So you have to be careful every time you do it. But in any case, that will... when I have to cut the painting session in a bit, I'm just going to try and see if I can easily repair this. That is not the shade I like. I just need to add maybe a bit more white. There we go. That's better. Still not what? Still not the shade I want. Okay, that's a bit too thick. Now I'm just being silly. Alright. Okay, let's be smart and let the paint dry. Then we add another layer again. Oh man, I thought I was gonna be done. Because I just realized that shade actually helps progress the brightness on this pauldron. So I'm just gonna add a little bit on each of them, because I do like the color. And it might enhance the shade a little bit more. Also to cover up this little thing over here. Alright. That's that. through this. Hold on. What do you mean? I'm not gonna do it now. Like, I need to practice, man. I'm not gonna just do it right off the bat. I wanna prepare myself, man. Like, no way in the world am I just gonna go and try something without first considering the consequences. So that's why I'm preparing this dummy, so I don't have to stress myself. Man, I don't know how to. There's this silly, like, emote thing. I want to get rid of it. Like, in YouTube, there's this, like, thing you can do and just, like, sort of like your, like, hit these little emote things here. And I want this removed because it's blocking my chat and I can't see. But whatever, I'm not gonna fuss over it. So for now, we're gonna take a break from the Blood Ravens while I figure out how I'm gonna try and repair one of them. And besides, like, one thing's for sure, when I do get to doing the badge, the thing is that one thing I can do is, if I do make a mistake, I can always just strip the paint off and then do it again. But I'm gonna practice first on this dummy so that I don't have to stress myself over, like, making mistakes and stuff. That's what I'm preparing this thing for. Because once this thing is... Well, I'm gonna keep repeating on how to draw it with the pencil lead. And once I, like, master how to do it, then we can just do it on the actual models, so we can not stress with it. So anywho, let's prepare Decimus now once more, because we are gonna do the final varnishing. So here is Decimus, our boy. I'm just gonna lather some matte varnish to finish him off. this will protect the paint job, so we don't have to. So whenever I store this in one of my storage boxes, it won't scratch the paint. Or if I continuously paint the paint when it's constantly being like rubbed on, like with your fingers or somebody else's fingers, tendency is that the paint will just slowly erode off. So you'll notice like little spots of gray here and there. So that's what the varnish is for, is to protect your model from getting to that point. So you don't have to worry about a single thing once you varnish the model. So I'm making sure that the varnish is evenly distributed. I don't want it clumping up on certain areas because it might have a bad effect on it. I can usually avoid. Alright. So right now he's looking a little glossy because of all the varnish. But once that's dry, he'll look really nice and matte. But I'm quite happy with the blood ravens right now. Like how they turned out and everything. Could do a little more work on them. Might have to do a bit of correction here because I got some of the bone white paint on arm here. We can easily fix that. Not now. I'm excited to also actually play get them on the table and see how I do strategy wise. I actually played Kill Team yesterday with one of my friends. He absolutely thrashed me. I was fighting against Necrons and his death mark just one shot my captain. Even with the Iron Halo, like he was only down to 1 health. There was nothing I could do. Like, you know, the dice rolls, man. It decided the game for me, so I couldn't do anything after that. Like, you know, one thing about the Necrons, like there's two Necron sets now, but the one that first came out, it's their kit is so insane because like their Cryptek, their leader, can double buff a single unit, and of course he has to double buff the sniper unit of his team. So there was nothing I could do. and his sniper has the ability to shoot your units as they are moving within his line of sight. The moment his unit sees you move into his line of sight, yeah, you better be prepared to take a big hit, because that guy hits, like, if we were to take a dice right now, let me put away a few things really quick. So if we were to take a 4 dice, so he would have done a crit, because 6 are crit, and he hits on 2s and a 3, so that means 2 up, he hits, so he hits me 3 times and a crit. So, and then he has a buff that he can do, that if he gets a crit, he can turn any normal hits into crits. So that's 2 crits instead of 1. So he's dealing, I believe that was... Oh, and for every crit, he immediately deals 3 damage. So 6 damage already on the board into my captain, who is 15 health. And each of these dice deals 3 damage. And that's not counting damage dice, actually. So 6 damage from devastating wounds, and then 3 damage, so 3, 6, that's already 12, and that's 15, and that's 18 damage in one shot. I was able to block 1, and I negated the damage of another one. So I was down to like 1 health. 1 or 2 health. And then the next turn, he just finished me off. Insane. Oh wait, the best part, it wasn't even his turn that he shot me with that much damage. It was on my turn. Like, well, to be fair, I can't say that my sniper was not unfair either, because the sniper of the Angels of Death, aka the Primaris Marines, has 3 different types of ammunition he can fire. He can fire executioner rounds, which will penetrate through cover, or he can fire a hyperfrag round, which will explode within 1 inch radius. So if you had a bunch of dudes clustered together, they would all get hit. And then you have the mortis rounds, which basically deal as much damage as it can. So I can't end all of them. can be fired while the sniper is concealed. So that means I snipe your unit and you can't fire back at me, because normally you'd have to switch the order of the unit to engage. So I don't know if you can see this one. So if he was concealed, you have to switch it to engage. And then once it's switched to engage, that means he's ready to attack. And normally, when he's engaged, your enemy's units can actually see him now. But for the sniper, he can fire while concealed, so that means I get to shoot you, but you don't get to shoot back at me. Same goes for his sniper too. So it was a wild game. Oh yeah, and not to mention I rolled 4 ones in one of my shots. I was just like, yep, I'm done at that point. 4 ones? Nah. No, bro. Like it may not seem like I'm making a big deal out of it, but you were dealing with 6-sided dice. 4 6-sided dice. 4. What are the chances of you rolling 4 ones? Basically, crit misses. Just no. I was done. Half my squad was wiped out in one turn, basically. That was not a good turn for me at all. I didn't, and you know what's the best part? The best part is, even if I survive that turn, on his turn, he would resurrect one of his units as Necrons be Necrons, because they can do that. They can just resurrect their units at least once, 1 unit per turn, and if that unit dies again, he's perma-dead. It was such a rough game, man. I conceded right after that turn. I just didn't want to. It was too much. It was too much. I wouldn't be able to recover because all I had left, basically all my melee units were dead. My close range units were all dead. Melee and close range units. And all that were left were the long range units. And I don't think I would have survived, especially if he revived his leader, because I did manage to kill his leader on that turn too. But the fact that he has the chance of resurrecting it, it's a 50-50, but still rough. 3 against, if I recall, I killed... No, his sniper was still alive. It would have still been a really, really rough. That match was not winnable at all. Well, it was my first time actually playing Angels of Death on that day, so some stuff to figure out for sure. Although I did pick out the right loadout for, because the Astartes or the Angels of Death can choose 2 buffs basically from a list of different tactics that they can use. So I chose one tactic which allows them to break away from melee quickly, or break away from melee for like 1 action point, because it usually takes 2 to get away from or retreat from melee range. So having that buff is actually really good for if you have like a melee focused loadout. But otherwise, the other one was... No, my mistake. I chose Hardy which basically means if I rolled fives in my defense, it's a critical success. So that means I can block crits with fives. Then the other one was stealthy, which I forget. What did stealthy do again? Let me pull up the. I know I'm saying stuff that's like doesn't make any sense, but I'm sure people who play Kill Team can make sense of what I'm saying right now. Because I wanted to try and see if I could go for a stealthy, like low profile approach at the start of the game to try and get in position for a charge in the next turn. And let me see. Stealthy. Whenever an operative is shooting this operative, you can retain any cover saves. You retain. Oh, okay. So he gets. They get additional dice or like auto defense. Because you roll 3 dice for defense. And then if you're behind cover, you get 1 automatic save. So that means you block one of his shots automatically. But with stealthy, if you're behind cover, you get to block 2 shots instead of just 1. So this team though is going to be a very interesting loadout because this is going to be a more shooty team, but they're going to be a pain to fight against. That's what I'm trying to make. That's the goal for this team, is make them an absolute pain to fight against. Because this guy will make sure that anyone who is within 8 inches of him cannot hide per se. Because the moment he activates his scanner, these 3. So the incursors, these 3, will have the chance to see enemies behind light cover. Anyone behind heavy cover is safe, but if you're within range of this guy and you're in light cover, these guys can see you and you can't hide. And that light cover will not save you because they have the saturate buff on their guns, which means that you do not retain any automatic saves from cover. So you cannot hide. Also, another fun fact is this guy right here, which is the Incursor Marksman. He has the ability to shoot at anything he sees move. So I can set him up in a nice position where he has a wide range of line of sight, and I activate that ability while he's just there, and so he will just watch the area, and the moment you move within his line of sight, you're going to stop where you're gonna stop where he sees you. He's gonna shoot you, and it's gonna hurt. Okay. Well, in any case, that's it for me. I've done enough of the Kill Team nerd talk, because none of what I said is gonna make sense until you actually see it on the board, which I plan to do a stream with a Kill Team board, but I'm figuring out how to do it with the limited resources I currently have. I don't have a phone holder right now. If you can see through the little face cam here, you can see the phone right here. This thing is quite short, so I can't really do a full board setup as of yet. Maybe if I get if I elevate this maybe a bit higher somehow, get a bunch of books maybe. But The problem is, like, you're gonna see the stand. That's the problem. This is gonna be in view. It's gonna be disruptive to how I want the setup to be. So I'm gonna have to figure out what's a good way to, or what kind of stand I need in order for me to shoot that battle report. So anyone that does the whole like board setup, it's called a battle report. So if I want to do a battle report, I'm gonna need a different stand for my phone or for whatever camera I'm using to film the battle report. But that is a problem for the future me. So for now, that is it for me tonight. We will work on detailing another day. Tomorrow I will not be on. Wednesday, I don't think I'll be able to be on Wednesday either. Maybe, we'll see. On Wednesday is gonna be our company's sports fest. So yeah, I'm gonna be there playing basketball for nearly the whole day? Question mark. It really depends because the games actually start at 4:30 in the afternoon. So and my team is on game 3. So I don't think I will be able to stream depending on how long those games last. But if I do come home early, I will try and stream on Wednesday. But if not, I will be on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, possibly, because I no longer have weekend basketball practice because we're playing the league now this week, so there is no time to practice anymore. Tomorrow will be I scheduled one last basketball practice with my team tomorrow, and Wednesday's game time on Wednesday, and then we're going to be playing basketball games throughout the rest of the month of October till maybe near Christmas, where we're going to have our Christmas party. By the end of November, we plan an early Christmas party because people will not be available throughout December, so we decided to do it early this year, just for this year. Well, I should stop yammering now and get to shutting off the stream. So thanks for joining me tonight, guys. I'll see you in the next one.